Hello everybody, Interi back again with another video, the second video for today. I just felt that I need to do a second video about this topic, this sensitive topic, Rafa Nadal's 12 French Opens. Are they, due to what Rafa is tremendously skilled on clay, on red dirt, or does the competition, or has the competition been weak? And like I said, guys, don't jump on the comment section. Hold on your horses. I am a big tennis lover. I am a big human lover in general. Do I hate Nadal? Of course I don't. I don't hate any human being, for God's sakes. But I am not like everyone else in the tennis world. I analyze differently. Rafa Nadal is a Terminator beast. He's a clay court beast. He's a clay court Terminator. He's a clay court alien. You name it. He has won 12 French Opens in 12 finals. Nobody has taken him to fifth set in French Open finals. Actually, he has only played 2 matches in French Open where the matches has gone to 5 sets. John Isner 2011 the first round, Novak Djokovic 2013 semifinals. He has played 95 matches in French Open and he has won 93 of them. Alright? The numbers are telling everything. The guy is he is superior. He is just amazing. What he has done is breathtaking. It is impeccable what he has done. But you have to analyze things, my tennis friends. You just cannot say, Rafa too good, Rafa too good, Rafa too good. Yeah, Rafa too good. But for God's sakes, he had 2 main chief rivals on the way, Djokovic and Nadal and Federer. And he is 13-1 against those 2. 13-1. No, I'm sorry, 12-1. He's 12-1 against those 2 in the head-to-head in French Open. 12-1. Djokovic and Federer has faced Rafael Nadal in French Open 13 times together, and they have only defeated, one of them has only defeated Rafa 1 time, and it is of course Djokovic. So 12-1. And if we take in Dominic Thiem there as well, it is 16-1 to Rafa Nadal. This is not acceptable. Not in my world. Because Djokovic, Federer, they are not Monfils, Berdych or Tsonga. For God's sakes, Djokovic and Federer, they have together 36 Grand Slam titles. If I'm counting right. 36! And just to say, in my earlier video I did today, I said 70% goes to credit to Rafa Nadal and 30% to his lack of his opponents. I will change that. 70% is too low. I feel it is too low. I will say this, and this one I will not change. I will give credit to Rafa for his impeccable French Open titles. 90% I will give to Rafa. I swear to God, I have analyzed, I have think, 90% it is what Rafa truly deserves for all his achievements that he has done in French Open. Because Rafa, let's face it, Rafa is the Bruce Lee of clay court tennis. He's the Bruce Lee of clay court tennis. You know Bruce Lee. I don't need to give Bruce Lee a presentation. You all know who it is. And Rafa is the version of Bruce Lee on clay. With all that said, you have to look at tennis as sport, and you have to also take other sports in counting. Look other sports, basketball, ice hockey, soccer, you name it basically. Have we ever seen this kind of dominance from other players? We have Michael Jordan in basketball. We have Wayne Gretzky in ice hockey. We have Muhammad Ali in boxing, to mention a few. Tiger Woods in golf. Have we ever seen this kind of domination from these guys that I've mentioned? Like Rafa has dominated the clay court tennis in French? No, we haven't. Why? Because they had more competition. I truly believe that they had more competition. Muhammad Ali, Gretzky, Tiger Woods, to mention some of them. Rafa, I'm not saying that Rafa didn't have competition. Rafa is just amazing. He is just, what Rafa has done is just breathtaking in the French Open. But I just cannot, to be 16-1 against your top chief rivals, 16-1 against Djokovic, Federer and team, Rafa is in French Open. 16-1. It's too much. It's too much to me to, I just refuse to say that, because guys, we should not forget, for God's sakes, that Rafa Nadal, after all, is just a human being. He's just a human being. Yeah, a very special human being. And he's perfectly built for clay court tennis. We all know that. He has all the skills. His enormous topspin, his forehand, his defensive skills. He is a super great athlete. He catches every single ball. But Djokovic and Federer, they are... Look guys, Djokovic and Federer, all respect to them. They are tremendous great athletes. But you guys have to accept one thing. Djokovic and Federer, they are good clay court players. I'm not saying they are bad. How many French Open finals does Federer have? I think he has 5 French Open finals, and he has lost 4 of those against Nadal. How many French Open finals does Djokovic have? I think he has 4 French Open finals, and he has lost 2 of them against Nadal. So you cannot say Djokovic and Federer are bad clay court players. They are not bad, but it is not their best surface. It is still not their best surface. They are not as good on clay as they are on grass and hard court. And somebody of you has commented me and said, but you can say the same thing for Federer in Wimbledon. He's 8 Wimbledon titles. You can say the same thing for Djokovic. He's 7 Australian Open titles. Yeah, I say the same thing. It is not 100% Federer's credit that he has won 8 Wimbledon titles. It is not. He has had some luck with competition as well. Of course he has had. For God's sakes, he has defeated Andy Roddick 3 times in Wimbledon finals. All respect to Andy Roddick. All respect to Andy Roddick and Mark Philippoussis as well, one time. So, I'm a Federer fan, but you know me guys, I will never sit here and lie. That day I sit here and lie, I will shut down this channel. This channel will not exist anymore. I am not like other tennis YouTubers. They can lie, it is their work to lie, not mine. Federer's 8 Wimbledon titles are not 100% his credit either. I will say Federer's Wimbledon titles are maybe 70-80% of his credit. The other 20% are lack of competition, especially early in Federer's career, especially. And the same thing with Djokovic. He has won 7 Australian Open finals, and he has had some luck on the way as well. I remember the final he won against Nadal in 2012. Man, Nadal, he should have won that final. He was up in a break in that 5th set. He had the easy backhand, which he hit out just close outside the lines. So I cannot say that Djokovic has 100% credit for his 7 Australian Open titles either. No, and I will say Djokovic has 80% credit for his Australian Open titles. 80%. Nadal, I'm giving him 90. Why? Because who Nadal is, we all know. Nadal is, he's just amazing in French Open, especially in French Open, because he's not hard. He's easier to defeat in other clay courts tournament, because it is 2 sets tournament. The surface can be a little faster, like it is in Rome and Madrid, especially Madrid. Madrid is a little faster than French Open, high altitude and things like that. But in French Open, especially in French Open, he's just an animal. He's a monster. So I give Rafa 90% of the credit, but 10% of the credit, it is lack of belief in the players' mentality. Many of the players, they have already lost in the locker room before facing Rafa Nadal in French Open. I swear to God, guys, many of them, they have already lost in the locker room. They will feel before they face Rafa Nadal, ah man, this guy is impossible. You cannot beat this guy. Even though I have not been there to see that, to hear what they say, I am completely convinced they feel that way. They feel before the match starts that they have lost it. And even when they push Rafa, like I remember a match between Rafa and Diego Schwartzman in 2018 quarterfinal, I believe, last year. Diego Schwartzman won the first set. He even was a break up in the second. But then after 1 hour tennis, like Diego Schwartzman played superb tennis, he just completely disappeared. And Rafa turned that match around 3-1. Again, Rafa is a clay court monster. All the credit to Rafa. But do you truly believe deep inside of your heart, all your Rafa fans, because I know that you're Rafa fans, it is you who feel this topic is more sensitive topic, that 100% of all Rafa's 12 Grand Slam titles in French Open, all his credit. Some players have not lost before the match started. Some players have not failed in the pressure moments, like Djokovic when he was a break up in that 5th set 2013 semifinal, and he just fell to the net. Djokovic should have won that match. He just missed a easy volley like my grandmother should have made. Guys, be honest with yourselves. Guys, stop it, guys. Stop it, for God's sakes. It is not 100% all Rafa's credit. 90%, yeah. 70%, I said in my previous video, I was maybe taking that number too little down. But I'm gearing it up to 90%. But to say 100% all Rafa's credit, no, it is not true. It's false. It is false. Players have failed. If we say that all the credit goes to Rafa Nadal, all the credit, every single match that he has won, 93 matches that he has won in French Open and lost only 2, then we will protect all the other players. We would protect them. Professional tennis players, who many of them have millions on the bank. We will protect all of them. We will say, but they could look to themselves in the mirror and say, but it is Rafa Nadal. But he is not we call him the clay court monster, the clay court terminator. But he is not a machine, literally speaking. He is human being as well. He has 2 arms as well, 2 legs as well, 1 heart as well. And some players should have pushed him more. One of them, Roger Federer. Roger Federer, he should have pushed Rafa Nadal more in French Open. I remember the 2006 final when Roger won the first set 6-1. Rafa Nadal was not as good 13 years ago like he is nowadays on clay. He was not as good 10 to 15 years ago in French Open in shot making. He did not do as many winners before as he does now. He is much more clutch on serve nowadays than he was 10 years ago. He does much more winners now than he did 10, 15 years ago. Roger had his chance of his life in that 2006 final when Rafa just gave that first set to Roger 6-1. But what did Roger do then? Roger just gave the gift way back to Rafa when Rafa won the second set 6-1, and the rest is history. Rafa won that match, the 2006 final, in 4 sets. All respect to Rafa, he is a tremendous clay court player. He is the greatest clay court player of all time, without any shadow of doubt. And I'm not trying to take his achievement down. I would never do that. I'm not stupid. But I refuse to say, like some of you, that he 100% credit goes to Rafa Nadal and the other players just they have not failed. They have failed. They have failed. 93 times they have failed. Only 2 times they have succeeded, Söderling and Djokovic. And we cannot deny this. We can just not deny this completely. We have to realize the truth. They have failed. They have failed. Why they have failed? 90% of who Rafa is. Absolutely. But 10% because they are inconsistent, they are weak mentally, and they have been defeated on the locker rooms before the matches has started. That is the truth. We cannot just protect the other dudes and say they just faced a Terminator. They just faced a monster. They just faced a machine. No, he is, after all, human being as well. But a very, 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 very special human being on this surface. So that is my conclusion. 90% is Rafa's credit, 10% is lack of the other dudes. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Take care and bye bye.